This is 5 Minute Feng Shui Podcast Episode 110, Lessons from the Year of the Ox Sign in 2021. Welcome to the 5 Minute Feng Shui Podcast, where each week I talk about how to move energy and make money. You'll learn how to create a prosperous home and an abundant life using classical Chinese Feng Shui. I'm your host, Katie Weber, publisher of the Red Lotus Letter, Feng Shui Easing for Wealth. Each week, I'll cover Feng Shui topics that can help you improve your life, share inspiring stories, and always end with 3 easy-to-implement Feng Shui tips that you can put to work right away, and usually in about 5 minutes. Now let's get started on the 5 minutes that could change your life. Hello and welcome to 5 Minute Feng Shui today. I'm so glad that you're here. We have got a blast of cold air that came in and my air conditioning and heating system went out. I thought it was going to be chattering while I was recording this podcast. I'm just glad to be up here and the air conditioning and heating is working again. It was a simple fix. Evidently, it just threw a fuse. Yep. This is the kind of thing that you can expect this month in December. We've got a Lollapalooza coming up in December. And if you're watching the newscast, you're probably seeing that already with spiking coronavirus all over the world. And, it's just going to be one of those months we're going to have to just get through it. But thankfully, we've got some twinkling lights. My heating is working. And hopefully you've got a nice cup of something to enjoy while you're listening to this. Maybe you're getting dressed this morning, or maybe you are relaxing in the evening with a glass of wine. Speaking of wine, where is mine? I think I should have brought one up with me. It is almost in the 5 o'clock hour where I am at the moment, and I am recording this as I get ready to go out of town. I'm going to have a little medical procedure. Well, I'll be frank with you. We're all grown-ups here, aren't we? I'm having a colonoscopy. Yep, I am way behind on getting that as a routine thing. I started experiencing some stomach difficulties this year, actually a few months ago, and I decided, you know what, it's way past time that I did this. And it's one of those things that I do try to walk my talk. I don't just give you advice, I take advice. and I try to eat my own dog food, as they say, or take my own medicine, that kind of thing. So actually, I am going to be going out of town and having that procedure done, and hopefully everything comes back and they just said, nope, you're just having a little irritation, and take some more Mylanta or some Tums or something like that. This is not sponsored by Mylanta or Tums. Here's what I want to say about that, and that is when you have something that's going on with your health, take it seriously, especially now. It's so important. Your health is number one. I just can't stress how important it is that you take care of you. Promise me you'll do that, because it's really important, and I care about you. I have gotten so many wonderful emails and reviews and messages from listeners of 5 Minute Feng Shui. And going into December, I just cannot help but think of how grateful I am for you right now listening to this. It makes my day, and it makes my year, and it has been something that I started doing kind of on a whim. And it's turned into this whole thing. I love doing it. It's tons of fun, and I hear from wonderful people. I want to call out somebody who is wonderful, I think, because she wrote the most beautiful review in iTunes, and I was so touched by it. I mean, absolutely touched. It's a beautiful review. So I'm going to read it to you and share it with you, because I think it's lovely. So she wrote, the title of her review is A Cheerful, Calming, and Motivating Voice. Hello, I'm Graciela, and this is my first review. I felt it important to share with anyone wondering about this podcast. I've been collecting and implementing the principles of Feng Shui for some time. I find Katie Weber's podcast to be comprehensive, and listening to her is very enjoyable. It's like having a friend over for a chit-chat about a shared interest. I so enjoy the background information along with the rationale behind the principle, along with the practical and realistic strategies to employ and achieve the desired outcome. I find the podcast most supportive and motivational. I don't believe you'll be disappointed. Now, how beautiful was that? And this was from Graciela, I think in Canada. So Graciela, gracias to you, and my many, many thanks to you for listening and for that beautiful review. You just touched my heart with that. Speaking of touching my heart, I have a private Facebook group, and when you purchase the year of the ox or the rat or whatever year it is, and you buy at the gold level, I have a private Facebook group, and we have members in there. Now, not everybody who buys that gold level package signs up for Facebook, but those who do come into this group, and we have the most supporting and wonderful group. I like to think that we're a very unique group and supportive, loving, caring, and it's a lot of fun. We also talk plenty of feng shui. There's lots of feng shui, and we bust some fallacies too, like, oh, you can't put this kind of mirror up, or you can't do that kind of thing. So we have a lot of really good discussion, fun banter back and forth. We have fun people too. And I can't tell you how wonderful it is to have a group like that. And I know a lot of my listeners to the podcast are in that group. So if you are in the Year of the Rat secret Facebook group, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for being in the group this year, and thank you for just being you and for listening in on the podcast, and I love all of you. So that's my shout out to my favorite group. If you want to be included in that group, we're going to be starting a new group for the Year of the Ox. Be sure to check out all the details about my Year of the Ox Feng Shui Forecast Success Pack. And if you're interested in joining the group, join at the gold level. You can learn more at redlotusletter.com/metal ox. It looks like Metalox, almost like some kind of a prescription medicine or something. Yes, I've been taking Metalox now for 2 months, and all my heartburns disappeared. No, it's redlotusletter.com/metal ox, METALOX. All right, so insiders, thank you. Graciela, big hugs and lots of love. Really appreciate it. Now let's talk about the lessons from the Year of the Ox. Now, every year is a new set of energies and challenges. We know that, right? And they're often characterized by the element and the animal sign of the year. Now, in 2021, that animal is the ox. I thought it'd be fun to talk about the ox and the qualities of what makes up an ox personality and that zodiac sign, because I feel like whenever we have that sign of the year, it gives us that information on some qualities that we want to adopt to be more successful in the year ahead. And by adapting those qualities of that animal, I think we make the year go more smoothly. So for instance, take 2020, the Year of the Rat. Now this is a sign that's adaptable and industrious. And if there is anything that we had to be in the year of the global pandemic with the coronavirus, it was adaptable and industrious, right? Now, there are lessons for us in this year coming in 2021 too, that the ox has for us. So I thought I would share with you some of what I've included in my Year of the Metal Ox Feng Shui forecast about those qualities, so you can have a good understanding of what the ox can bring to you, because I think we're going to need to have some of those qualities that the ox year has. And that's what's really amazing to me about Feng Shui, the Chinese zodiac, is how often those qualities seem to just intersect and dovetail so beautifully with the energies of the year. And if we could just learn from that animal, and Lord knows we need to learn from animals, right? We're the ones messing up their planet. And we can definitely take a lesson or two from animals. And if we can learn to take on some of those qualities, I think we're going to be all the better for it. So let's talk about the ox. The ox is the second sign in the Chinese zodiac. It is a symbol of endurance and hard work. Those who are born in the sign of the ox are often looked upon as great leaders, but they can sometimes be a little introverted and insecure, and that can sometimes make them feel a little lonely and isolated. Now, the ox is a sign of commitment. The noble ox epitomizes faith and diligence. They're committed spouses. They love their parents and their siblings. They're devoted and stable, And their personal and work ethic makes them lead secure lives that really focus on practicality and seeing through things through to the end. Now, did you know that actually every country has a zodiac sign? It's true. The ox country in the world is China. Famous for their ability to work and endure like the ox, they are legendary workers. Now, what sign is the United States? Well, you're going to find this fun. It's a monkey. And a monkey is a metal sign that's ever busy, always improving and innovating, just like a metal element. Metal element is an element that conducts and moves, actually. So if you can think of like a wheel turning or airplanes, it's computers. And this is where and obviously, where are we located? We're located in the West. And as you might imagine, the monkey is a west sign. Just like in the east, the ox is also a northeast sign. So if you were to like open up the globe on a big map, like an orange peel style of map, if you open that up and you look over to the northeast corner, there's China. And I find that really interesting that those qualities and those animals and where they're located actually kind of work out in terms of the map. Isn't that fascinating? I just love that. Okay, so as you might imagine, the saying that stubborn as an ox, it didn't come about because the ox is a wishy-washy kind of character. Now, sometimes an ox can be so set in his ways, an opportunity will come and the ox won't want to get out of his comfort zone to pursue it. Now, that's not one of the better qualities. So if you find yourself going, I could do this. It would be good for me. I know I could get a promotion. Maybe I could work a little harder, burn some midnight oil a little bit and reap the rewards. Make that effort this year. Make that effort. This is what the ox is telling you to do because he can let those things go by. And let me tell you, in a year that we've been going through in 2020 and 2021 coming up, this is the year of the brass ring coming at you. So if there's anything that you want to do, grab that brass ring. If there's any opportunity, you see any glimmer or glitter or shine of something that is a possibility for you, grab it. You will be so happy you did once 2022 comes around. So let's talk about stubborn as an ox, right? This is a saying that is obviously something that we hear about oxes. They are not, like I said, this is an animal, like I was talking about earlier with the China being that country. They can endure and keep working. And in fact, sometimes oxes will work so hard, they'll just fall. That's it. They'll work themselves to death. Now, you don't want to do that. So while you don't want to miss opportunities, you also need to have some rest too. Remember, feng shui is about balance, right? So don't work yourself to death, but don't be relaxing on your laurels and letting those opportunities go by. I want to make sure that you understand those are both two sides of the same coin, sort of like depression and anger. That ability to go let something go past you is like, I don't know, maybe I'll get around to it. You never do. Or it's, I'm going to keep going at this thing, and you work yourself into a lather. So you don't want to do either one of those. But if there's anything you want to be guilty of this year, it's grabbing at every opportunity that's presented to you. All right, so let's talk about the ox. And now, there's in each set of animals, they're associated with a season. And the ox is represented in the group with the boar, the rat, and the ox. They are the winter season. Now the spring animals, those are coming up. That's gonna be next year. Year of the tiger. The tiger, the rabbit, and the dragon are spring animals. They've got lots of energy and drive, and so that is associated with that wood and that wood element and springtime, grass and leaves and growth and moving forward. The summer animals are snake, horse, and sheep. That's when those are the energy, they have a lot of fire energy associated with them. And the autumn animals are the monkey, rooster, and dog. Those are the fall animals. They are that they have a collective element of metal, and their direction is west. So the winter animals, these are the late degrees of northwest, north, and the early degrees of northeast. And the spring animals are from all of the east sector, which is late degrees of northeast, all the way to the early degrees of southeast. The summer is the late degrees of southeast to south, and the early degrees of southwest. The autumn is, like I said earlier, is that metal, the west. So just the late degrees of southwest all the way to the early degrees of northwest. So there you go. Those are the 4 seasons of the 12 animals. Now let's move on. Now, another endearing quality of the ox is that personal fortitude and lack of complaint. The ox is always persistent and never whiny. The ox has a friend in the rat who helps the ox come out of his shell and be more sociable. And in his friendship circle, the ox can rely on the snake, the rooster, and his secret friend, the rat. So that's the trinity. And again, each set of animals has their own trinity. So for instance, you've got tiger, horse, and dog make a trinity. And then you've got the ox and the snake and rooster is that trinity. So we have animals that make up trinity. So if you're an ox and you're listening to this, look for snakes and roosters, and also rats, because rats are your secret friend. It's also your neighbor, your zodiac neighbor, right? The rat was last year, and you're the next year. Now, the ox does have an enemy in the monkey, and the reason he doesn't like the monkey is because the monkey seems impetuous to the ox, and so that makes the ox view the monkey with suspicion. Now, let's talk about some famous oxes. That's Emperor Hirohito, Sammy Davis Jr., Margaret Thatcher, Dustin Hoffman, Vincent van Gogh, Charlie Chaplin, Meryl Streep, Bruce Springsteen, Richard Nixon, Caitlyn Jenner, Napoleon Bonaparte, and Adolf Hitler. Now, he was an earth. Both Napoleon and Adolf Hitler were both earth oxes. I started to say rats. Yes, they were rats. No, but they are earth oxes. And so thankfully this is a metal ox year, so I don't think we're going to be seeing tyrants quite of that scale and magnitude. Now let's talk about the ox qualities that you can adopt in your life this year. So like I said earlier, every year we take an energetic lesson from the zodiac sign of the year. The ox has so many wonderful qualities that can help us in the year that's coming up in 2021 and help us manage better and more effectively in our lives. Now, the rat that we're in now in 2020 is always looking for opportunities, but the ox is a thinker. The ox considers all possibility and errs on the side of safety and security, something we must all work on in this topsy-turvy pandemic world we're still living in. And Lord knows there's never a truer word spoken than this month. I really am concerned. I hope that you will be careful and cautious this month. Be extra careful, extra cautious. Stay in, keep your circle small, avoid crowds. I care about you, and I just don't want anybody to get sick. And I want us to all be around when the vaccine comes out. Okay, ox and the career. Let's talk about your career and what you can learn from the ox. So at work this year, we're going to want to keep your nose definitely on affixed to what's in front of you. You don't want to get into any kind of gossip or office dalliances. There's an energy this year around infidelity and also triangles. So the love energy this year is the kind that could create infidelity in a bigger way. Everybody's looking for something. It's just been a difficult year, but that's the something you don't need, because it could be damaging to your relationship. Now, let's go back to career. So don't the cute guy in the copy room, just avoid him. Now, let's talk about managing your temper and being devoted to your love relationship and your partnership and marriage, and avoid that office romance. It was in the past year when there was a real major realignment of the importance of family and those tender ties that keep us close. We really had to refocus on what was important and what really matters in our lives this year. And so we want to stay the course with our family and our closest love ties are what matters. And if things get strained, seek some counseling to help you manage those emotions. And do avoid any kind of office gossip or anything that could, not look good. It's not going to be good for you in your career this year. Absolutely not. There may be little annoyances at work. There may be frustrations. It's normal. Just try to manage it as best you can. And if that means going into a closet and screaming into a pillow for 5 minutes, hey, then that's what you do. Or you play your music on the drive home or in your office and really loud and, scream it out. It'll be better. All right, let's talk about ox and money. Now, the ox is not a shrewd card shark. Gambling just is not compatible with the ox nature. And for that reason, it's really not a good idea to jeopardize your nest egg with anything risky this year. Watch your investments closely and don't invest in anything that you're uncomfortable with or that feels like a gamble to you. This is the year where you could find that even a small risk can create mounting losses. Use your inner voice. Use that inner guidance, that still inner direction. Knowingness. We have an inner knowingness, and this is something that if you pay attention to, you'll hear it talk to you louder and louder. And how many times have you gone back and looked at something and gone, dang, I thought that was not the right thing. I heard that. I didn't pay attention to myself. I didn't pay attention to that. My inner knowing, my inner voice, my gut, whatever you want to call it. This is a year, refine that. Remember I said the ox is a thinker, but the ox is all in the mind, and your mind has so many levels to it. There's the absolute thinking part, but there's also this quiet stillness of knowing, and I really want to encourage you to trust that. Okay, now back to the money. This is again, so trust that instinct that you have, and if anybody comes up with, this is a sure thing, this is going to make you loads of money, you gotta get this stock or whatever it is. Listen, you trust yourself. If it doesn't feel good in your body, ignore it, move on, just stick to what you know. It's really a good idea. I mean, that's definitely what the sort of the motto for Warren Buffett. He always says invest in what you know. And if it's something you don't know about, or you're not comfortable about, or you can't get good advice about it with your money, don't do it. Okay, let's talk about your health. One of the things, obviously, an ox is a ruminant animal. What does ruminant mean? That means they chew their cud, they graze, and it's this constant eating. And this is something that's really hard to do. I'm a snacker. I love snacking. I could graze. I definitely could. I'm actually in Western astrology, I'm a Taurus. And that's what makes me stick to publishing a newsletter every week for 20 years. And married for 30. I stick to things. Good luck getting me off something. And tell me I can't do it. And we'll just see about that. But back to you. We want to watch that potential to just graze on sweets or snacks and that kind of thing. You know what gets you going. But here's one of the things that I'm concerned about this year, and that's sugar. Both sugar and starch can dry you, and especially sugar. It pulls out the water of your body. I mean, one of the ways, you hear about, honey, hams and stuff like that. I mean, that was a preservative. Many times, foods were coated in honey and sugar. Sugar was used to dry, like hams, and honey was used as a protectant and a sealant what did they said? They found honey in pyramids in Egypt, and it's 3,000-year-old honey. And it can still be reconstituted. It's amazing how that's an amazing. What would you call it? A food product? I hate to call it a food product. It is an amazing product that the bees make. But the concern is that you could be tempted to graze a lot, and especially sweets. And I will tell you, as the year gets closer, I just want candy. And I just want candy. I have no idea why. I've never been a candy girl. I'm more of a salty snack kind of gal. Get me a box of Cheez-Its or Goldfish and let me get after them. Okay, but I don't. I manage it. I don't want to attempt diabetes or anything like that. The other thing you need to watch out is for stomach upset. Obviously, I told you I'm having a colonoscopy, and what I'm finding for me is that my emotions are hitting me in my stomach more now, and that is stress is going there, and that could happen to you too. Watch your stomach, watch what you're eating. One of the things I've been trying to do is kind of take it easy on the spicy stuff, and even things like mints. I eat a lot of mints and gum, and it's something that you might not think about as being rough on your stomach, but anything that's sort of that burny kind of sensation. I don't mean like Bernie Sanders. I mean, anything minty can be a little hard on the stomach, just like a big spicy meal, or even foods that are too greasy, fried foods, things like that. Work on your diet. Treat your stomach well. Give it some love. I take digestive enzymes with every meal, and you can order them online, and they help your body to digest more easily and better, and so that you can take up the vitamins and minerals in your food as it's going through your digestion. So think about your stomach health, and think about what you're eating. Go for those fresh fruits, those leafy greens, and really good healthy fibers like farro or oatmeal. It will help keep your stomach feeling good, and that's where your immunity is. And a lot of people find out that they've been infected with COVID through their stomach. They suddenly they're in the bathroom and they're having all kinds of problems with that. And fiber is so good for you. In fact, one study showed that just varying the fiber in your diet did more for promoting healthy bacteria levels in the gut's biome than taking probiotics or eating yogurt. As always, a varied diet is the best way to get all your vitamins and minerals. So just focus on, good vitamins and minerals. Maybe take one. Please don't write me or call me or tell me about vitamins and vaccines and all that good stuff. Do what you think works for you. That's all. Just take care of your health and watch the eating. Watch your stomach health. Really important this year. Ox and love. Let's end on a love note. Now, in relationships, it's so important to work on communicating and doing things that strengthen your relationship mentally. This could be working a puzzle together, playing board games or cards, or working with your hands by doing household projects together, or like gardening projects with your sweetheart. One of the things Tim and I love to do is working around the house. We love to do little projects, little things that just make a difference. Putting trim up. We have a guest bathroom and we put crown molding up and painted it, and just little things like that. I'm going to be working on some new gardening beds so I can have a cutting garden. We're going to be doing that. It's something that we love to do, and we do together, and we have a sense of accomplishment. And if you can do something like that, everything from learning a new skill together, or working on games and things that keep your mind together, it's really great. It'll keep the two of you close, and it will keep you close with your most important sex organ. That's your brain. Stimulated. It'll keep that sex organ stimulated, because you know what? All love starts in your mind and in your eyes, and when we work with someone and work together on something, it brings us together and brings us closer. So I hope that you will find some things to do that you can do as partners and partner up. Now, when I say partners, it doesn't always have to be your love partner. It could also be your loved ones. Partner up with your loved ones. Take a walk with your kid. Go on hikes together. Go out for a day of golf. Whatever it is that you and your loved ones like to do. This is something that working together will bring you and keep you together. Having a unified goal and desire of an outcome makes all the difference in the world and keeps you tight and close. And that's what's important. And if there's anything that we learned in 2020, it's that we've got to depend on one another and our loved ones and keep them close and safe. All right, well, that's it for now. Listen, be really careful this month. I've been putting out updates about and that comes with my success pack. When you buy my success pack, I'm in your email inbox sending you every monthly email updates on your horoscopes, the flying star for the month, and the new moon. And that used to be something I only did for a certain level of purchaser, and now I'm doing it for everybody. When you buy my success pack, you will get those updates. I really want you to be protected. And if you're interested, check out my success pack. I'll give you some details when we wrap up here, but those emails will make a big difference in terms of being prepared, being protected, and being ready. I really believe in being protected and being prepared. So, all right, listen, have a great week, and I'll talk to you on the next episode of 5 Minute Feng Shui. I hope you enjoyed today's episode of 5 Minute Feng Shui. If you did, please be sure to share this episode with your friends on social media, and let's change the world one home at a time. For more Feng Shui information and inspiration, sign up for my free weekly Feng Shui Easy. Just drop by redlotusletter.com to sign up, and I'll be in your inbox every Wednesday. And if you like this episode, I'd love it if you left a review on iTunes. If you do, send me the screenshot of your review to katie@redlotusletter.com with iTunes review in the subject line, and I'll send you a free gift as my thank you. I'll see you next week on the next episode of 5 Minute Feng Shui.